presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southeast.
It's another beautiful Tuesday night for baseball here in Atlanta, Georgia, as the Braves face another National League Eastern foe. The surprising Philadelphia Phillies are in town tonight for Game 1 of a 3-game series. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip, welcome back to the ballpark. A day of rest for the Braves yesterday. Hopefully a chance to clear their minds after that heartbreaking extra inning loss last time out here at home. Now a chance for the Braves to get back into the win column. Matt Whistler gets the ball in Game 1.
And who better to get the Braves on the winning track here at home than Matt Whistler, who's coming off the best performance by one of the starters this year for the Atlanta Braves. It happened at Citi Field in New York, and he went 8 innings of 1 hit, shutout ball. He was outstanding from start to finish. Guy who has been pitching much better baseball his last 2 or 3 starts. There's the line from his game his last time out. And his last 7 games against the National League East have all been outstanding. He's also got a couple of days extra rest going into this start tonight, so he's been good with extra rest as well.
And he's facing a Philadelphia Phillies ball club that from an offensive standpoint has numbers very similar to the Braves. One big difference, the Phillies have 18 wins and are only 2.5 games out of first.
And that's because they're winning their close games. They have the best one-run record in baseball at 11-3, as you see there in the bottom line. But their runs scored average, their batting average, very similar to the Atlanta Braves. Their bullpen's been the difference. When they do get a lead, they're able to hang on to it and win those close ones.
Well, let's see if the Braves can break into the win column for the first time against the Fightin' Phils. Big day in the history of the Atlanta Braves. Season tickets went on sale at SunTrust Park today. Kelsey will talk about that when we return to Atlanta after a break.
Presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
we wanted to create, as we did with the seating bowl and this entire facility and this entire environment, more character, more uniqueness. And so it will not be a symmetrical outfield wall. Different dimensions. 335 down the left field pole, 375 in the left center field, 402 straightaway center, 385, 375 here, and 325 down the right field pole. Freddie Freeman will like that.
Freddie Freeman will like that, and so will all of the fans. That was John Surholz telling you about SunTrust Park, and it is coming to life. We got a really cool tour of it last week. Now, the biggest things that stood out to me is really not a bad seat in the house. I know you hear that all the time, but all of the chairs are actually angled to face home plate, and they're all really on top of the field. And then the Wi-Fi, the most exciting part. That's supposed to be the best Wi-Fi in any sports venue in the entire world. So it's available for the first time to the general public. SunTrust Park season tickets are officially on sale. The tickets start as little as $7 per game for A-list members, so you definitely want to act quickly to get the best seats before they're gone. So you can visit braves.com/SunTrustPark to secure your tickets today. And I just want to reiterate it again, there is not a bad seat in that house. So much to be excited for next season. But make sure you stay with us, because we have game one of the Braves versus the Phillies coming your way with Matt Whistler on the mound. Chip and Joe take it back after the break.
Baseball is presented by Mazda.
As we mentioned a moment ago, beautiful night in Atlanta. Gentle breeze blowing out towards straightaway center. It's 79 degrees. Forecast for cloudy skies a little bit later on tonight as we get our first look at the 18-14 Phillies. Here's the Braves' defensive lineup tonight. Gordon Beckham is just back from his hamstring problem. He's at third base. Chase Darno will be with Eric Ibar up the middle. Tyler Flowers gets the start behind the plate. Jeff Francoeur with a lefty on the mound is in left. Enciarte and Marquez joins him, and they'll try to support Matt Whistler tonight.
And for Matt Whistler, his career with 6 or more days of rest, which he's pitching on tonight, 4-1 with a 2.23 ERA. Same applied for that start in New York, where he went 8 innings of one-hit shutout ball. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. This Phillies team, again, a little offensive handicapped, but they swing the bat. Meaning you don't have to throw quality strikes. They will be up there. They don't like to walk. They'll be hacking. And Odubel Herrera, who leads off for the Phillies, has been absolutely red hot, outstanding. 471 with runners in scoring position. He's third in the league in on-base percentage. Do your best to keep him off the sacks.
What a find for the Phillies, a former Rule 5 pick. And they just stuck him on their roster, sent him out there, let him play at center field. And Herrera has figured things out. He's been on base 28 of 29 games for the Phillies. Starts play tonight with a .324 average. Matt Whistler, coming off a brilliant outing against the Mets, goes to work, and we're underway with a strike. Unlike Shelby Miller, who used the pine tar to keep the pants down across the shoe tops, Herrera just decides to spike the bottoms. Good off-speed pitch, 0-2.
He had everything working in New York. He was spotting his fastball. He had a curveball and an excellent changeup, pretty good slider. Pitching with a lot of confidence.
Flowers body blocked that ball. It was in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Herrera hit 3 homers against the Braves last year, drove in 6 runs in 19 games. Sprays that one out of play foul to stay alive, 1-2. He hit .243 against Braves pitching. And you're right, he's been a spark plug for him.
He's a good player, and he didn't start off the season in the leadoff spot. Pete McCannon there on the right, the interim manager last year for the Phillies, got a new 2-year deal. Had him in another spot in the order to drive in runs, but they needed him at the top.
And Whistler just struck him out to start the game. 1 up, 1 down as Herrera is down on strikes.
Breaking ball, looked like a back foot breaking ball. And a beauty. Stopped by Tyler Flowers.
The rest of the Phillies lineup features Cesar Hernandez hitting second, Michael Franco slumping, hitting third. Braves killer Ryan Howard is their cleanup man. And high to Cesar Hernandez, the switch hitting second baseman, batting .267 on the year. Most of his good work, oddly, has come on the road. Philadelphia is a great hitter's park, but Hernandez hitting .358 on the road this year. That's a little odd. He'll be put to the test tonight. Slashed to the left side and into the seats. Even count. How does anybody hit a .105 in Philadelphia?
I don't know. Distractions, I guess. I don't know. Too many cheesesteaks. Good pitch, good life, running away from Hernandez.
94 miles an hour on that pitch. You would think Matt should be very fresh with extra rest for Atlanta tonight. And a bounding ball hit toward Darno at second. Tricky hop, almost fooled him, but he held on for the second out.
Now several changes, personnel changes for the Braves today, with Gordon Beckham returning from the DL and playing third base. Matt Tuiasosopo was sent back. He almost missed that completely. Tuiasosopo was sent back to Gwinnett. Jim Johnson was placed on the disabled list, and Ian Kroll, left-handed reliever, was called up from Gwinnett to take his place.
This is Michael Franco, 6 homers, 17 RBIs. He's the Phillies' third baseman. Franco just 4 hits in his last 24 at bats. He only played in a handful of games against the Braves last year, 7 in fact. Had 9 hits and 28 at bats. And that went up the middle. Darno couldn't get it. It skipped over his glove as he dived for it behind the bag. And Michael Franco has a 2-out hit in front of Ryan Howard.
Well, that equals all the hits the Mets got on May 2nd. Mets didn't get their first hit till the 5th inning.
Here's Ryan Howard. He has 7 of the Phillies' 25 homers this year. He's knocked in 15 runs, but a 185 average. And Tardy, strike 1.
And again, 94.
Whenever the Braves play the Phillies, you throw the batting average out the window. Ryan Howard just crushes Atlanta pitching. 21 lifetime homers in this ballpark. And he has the best homer per at-bat ratio of any player that's ever played in Turner Field, with at least 150 at-bats here.
First in RBIs, second in extra base hits, first in walks. How many home runs, how many games per home run?
14.4 at-bats per home run.
At-bats, okay.
For Ryan Howard here at Turner Field. 82 career games and 21 homers. Overall, Howard's hit 50 homers, 147 RBIs in 171 games. Ryan Howard and Carlos Ruiz, the final holdovers for the Philly teams that had so much glory just a few short years ago. Downstairs to Howard, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Howard signed through the end of this year, club option for 2017. Once hit a mile-high foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He already has 35 strikeouts. That's the most on their ball club in 92 at bats. And surprisingly, only 9 walks. Again, offensively challenged, this Phillies club, and they don't like to take walks.
Fly ball center, and Inciarte is going to have plenty of room to catch that. He's got it, and Matt Whistler allows 1 hit and nothing else to the Phillies in the top of the first. First time, here's how Freddie Gonzalez lines him up. Nick Markakis, Ender Inciarte, and Freddie Freeman will be the first 3 hitters. Tyler Flowers, Jeff Francoeur in the lineup with the lefty on the mound. Good to have Gordon Beckham back, Chase Darno, Eric Ibar, and Matt Whistler. 7th, 8th, and 9th. Former star in Alabama, Mr. Morgan, faces the Braves for the first time.
Yeah, makes his home in Marietta. Went to Kell High School, but has not had any luck against his hometown team. 0-3 in 3 starts with a 4 ERA. He's coming off a start against St. Louis in St. Louis. No decision. 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs in that one. Low 90s fastball, good slider, and a changeup, occasional curveball.
Phillies folks were saying, Joe, he has one bad inning, it seems, in every start that costs him. And with a team that doesn't score many runs, you can see how that could be the case. Let's see if the first inning's problematic for him with Nick Markakis leading things off. It's popped out of play, foul. Steve, right one.
Yeah, to back that up, Chip, he has not given up any runs through the first 4 innings of either one of his starts, but he's given up 3 runs in the 5th inning of each of his starts.
That's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's lined down the left field line, and it's 2-2. Time for our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Look at the on-base percentages of the 2 leadoff men in tonight's game.
Yeah, I shortchanged Herrera. He's actually at the top, and Nick is in 4th.
Good take by Markakis. It's a full count. Strike 3 under the tomahawk, and Nick knew it. He takes the right turn, has a seat, and Morgan strikes out the Braves leadoff man for the first out.
Yeah, 3-2 hook. Got Nick to flinch, and indeed he did know.
Ender and Ciarte bats. Ender at 176. Good to have him back after the hamstring issues that sidelined him in Game 3.
Well, just as Freddie Gonzalez did on Sunday against Patrick Corbin, a left-handed pitcher. All 3 of his lefties in the lineup today are right at the top of the order.
And Morgan hasn't seen many left-handed batters this year, including Nick Markakis. He's seen just 7. 2 for 7 are left-handed batters against the Phillies' left-handed starter tonight. No balls, 2 strikes. And that's as late a swing as you can take and still be alive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That was in Ruiz's glove, wasn't it?
Well, Ender was halfway out of the batter's box, too.
There's a roller toward first. Howard's got it, and he'll step on the bag. And that's the 2nd out. Freddie Freeman is red hot right now. Last 14 games, Freeman's hitting .365 with 7 games of 2 or more hits. Down a strike. It's 0-1. Freeman 4 homers, 8 RBIs.
Really good hook.
Smothered by Ruiz. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You said this Philly team doesn't like to walk. Morgan doesn't like to issue walks. In his major league career, he's only walked 20 men. He's faced nearly 400 hitters. So he's going to be around the plate.
The Phillies may be a tad ahead of the Braves in terms of their renovation, their remodel, whatever you want to call it. with getting Franco up here last year, even near the end of the 13 season, I believe he got a few at bats, and a couple other guys.
That's hit to Herrera in center. Google makes the play. 3 up, 3 down.
Aaron Nola, Adam Morgan, a couple others.
We go to the second, no score. And the Phillies, to illustrate Joe's point about where the Braves and Phillies stand. Many thought they would be battling it out for last place in the East, but so far the Phillies have had the better run record-wise than Atlanta.
I mean, look at that. The only difference really is the slugging percentage, because they've hit homers and the Braves haven't, and the fact that they've won a predominant number of their close ball games. The Braves are 2-5 in their one-run games.
But they are offensively challenged, to say the least. An early run could be huge in tonight's game. Whistler gave up a hit, nothing else in the first, and he'll face Carlos Ruiz to start the second. It's high, 1 ball, no strikes. Ruiz at 286 with 3 homers. This one pops straight up. Flowers sheds the mask and near the screen, puts the squeeze on that. Ruiz is retired for the first out.
Braves haven't seen that many left-handed pitchers themselves, so an opportunity, an unusual opportunity for Tyler to play in back-to-back games.
Here's Freddie Galvis, the Phillies shortstop. And Whistler just keeps on hitting the catcher's glove.
Well, the thing that was most noticeable in New York was how good his secondary stuff was, and how often he was hitting the strike zone with his breaking stuff and then setting up his change.
Galvis led the Phillies in hits and in games last year.
Jeff Francoeur was talking about what a great teammate he is.
We saw Galvis make a couple of circus plays at short against the Braves up in Philadelphia last year. Of course, Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins are gone. Now it's Hernandez and Galvis up the middle. 2-2 pitch is lifted toward left on cue. Francoeur near the fence. He overran it, but reached up and made the play. Wasn't pretty, but it was effective.
As long as it goes in the glove and stays there. backpedal a little bit, but snow coned it. I'm sure his former teammates out there in the bullpen weren't giving him any grief at all.
Here's Tyler Goodell. He swings the first pitch. Inciarte will have an easy play and an easy inning for Matt Whistler. 3 up and 3 down. Tyler Flowers leads off the second, scoreless for the Braves.
Streaming sports service delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. That includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Flowers, Francoeur, and Beckham. Got 3 Georgia boys in a row facing. And from Marietta, as Joe said, popped up right side. Ryan Howard in on the grass is over, and Flowers pops out to start the second. 4 up, 4 down for Adam Morgan. Talking to the Phillies about Jeff Francoeur before the game. The way things have shaped up for them with Aaron Altair out with injury. Had Jeff stayed with the Phillies, he'd probably be in their lineup every day. For Pete Buchanan. The production they've gotten from left field and right field has been the worst offensive production in Major League Baseball.
And by today's standards, with what teams count on from their corner outfielders, that's not good.
Those are supposed to be power spots. Phillies haven't gotten much power or much production of any kind from Goodell and Peter Borges.
That's the second time behind in the count he's gone with an off-speed pitch. He struck out Markakis 3-2, and then just threw a changeup 2-0 to Jeff.
So we'll see if that pattern continues tonight. Francoeur laces 1 foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Broken bat, and Morgan almost got that with a bare hand. Francoeur rolls out. There's the second out of the inning. The barrel of the bat ends up out of the grass by shortstop.
Good fastball in right there. Hard to get in on Jeff, but he did.
Good to have Gordon Beckham back. Beckham got hurt April 16th in Miami. And he tweaked a hamstring. And 4 hits and 12 at bats at Gwinnett during his rehab.
And was swinging the bat real well when he got hurt. That was what was the crime.
His average up to 280 on the year with 3 ribbies. That's fought off. Line foul to the right side. It's 0-2. Swing and a miss. Disappearing slider takes care of Beckham, and Morgan is perfect through his first 2 innings.
Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Pretty shot and somewhat apropos, because I think the sky's the limit for Matt Wisler.
Well, he's been outstanding all season long. His last 2 starts, 2 of his last 3 starts have been brilliant, lowering his batting average against to 175, tied with Jaime Garcia of the Cardinals for 2nd place behind the unhittable Jake Arrieta.
Yeah, you're second to Jake Arrieta. You're doing really good work.
You're doing okay.
And will start the 3rd inning with the pitcher, Adam Morgan, who's 0 for 3. That's golfed out toward left. Francoeur that away. There's the first out.
Fly balls are something that are not uncommon to Matt Wisler. He came into this game with 43 flyouts to 38 ground outs. The 43 fly ball outs were number 4 in the National League. The surprise was who's number 1 with 48, Julio Teheran.
Here's Peter Borges, former Angel, former Cardinal, and now current Philly.
But with 5 fly ball outs already, he's just tied Julio for first.
Another fly ball. This one out to center in Ciarte. Wisler now the leader. Fly ball outs. 2 quick ones here in the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up Odubel Herrera. Funny moment for Herrera earlier this year. On Saturday, in fact, against the Marlins. Watch the bat flip.
You can't make decisions on a frame-by-frame.
One problem. It was a foul ball.
looking over in the Marlins dugout. Somebody got him.
Yeah. But I agree with what you said. He's turned into a terrific find and a terrific player for the Phillies. And when you're rebuilding and going through this remodeling stage, these are the kinds of finds you have to have.
Yeah, and hope that they work out. He has Goodell, who we saw last inning, who's playing left field. He was a Rule 5 out of Tampa Bay's organization. So they're filling spots where they hope they can get some production. They certainly did from this guy last year. And he is tearing it up already in the first month this season.
Fly ball right center. Can anybody get it? The answer is no. That's going to drop into the grass. Inciarte picks it up, and Herrera has a 2-out double, the second hit for the Phillies in the game.
Like a change-up, he was fooled, but he got enough of it.
A high average for a man that likes a low pitch.
What's considered a low pitch?
Here's Cesar Hernandez. Well, these days that might be from mid-thigh to the kneecap.
See, that's where some of these new numbers.
Yeah.
What's low to him may not be low to everybody.
Fastball high. Evens it up.
During this Braves, we know they've been struggling at home. They've lost 10 in a row at home. And during this 10-game losing streak at home, opponents now with 40 extra base hits compared to 9 for Atlanta.
Sharply hit. Oh, Ibar gloved it and makes the play to first in time. Ibar in the right place at the right time. That ball was smoked. Herrera stranded for the Phillies. Bottom part of the order up for the Braves. Still no score.
Sponsored by Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Chase Darno, Eric Ibar, and Matt Whistler will go to work for the Braves in the third inning. No score. Adam Morgan set down 6 straight. Missed inside with that one. 1 ball, no strikes. Darno, 3 hits in his first 10 at bats as a Brave. And he missed in the same spot, ball 2.
Another off-speed pitch, changeup, behind in the count. There's that pattern. Back it up. Do it again.
Driven toward left, and that ball is going to drop. It's off the glove of Goodell, and Darno will glide into second with the first Braves hit. A leadoff double here in the home third.
Went with a second changeup in a row, and this time Chase was ready for it. Plus, I don't think it was near as good a pitch. It wasn't. It was letter high. So he's lucky it stayed in the ballpark. Good effort by Goodell. Good start for Atlanta.
Let's see if Ibar can bring him home. Pitcher Matt Whistler's on deck. Ibar with 2 RBIs, 187 average. To right, Borges drifts back, and he makes the catch. Darno's going to tag. He's going to head to third. It's a productive out for Ibar. Whistler will try to help himself with 1 out.
That's only got 1 hit, but he's got a good swing. And depending on how the Phillies play this against the left-handed pitcher, I like Matt's chances of putting it in play. If they play the infield in, it might be hard to get him in.
I would think with the Phillies' run-scoring struggles like the Braves, yeah, 1 run, they may not be able to afford to give up 1 early tonight. It looks like they will come in for Whistler. Discount a squeeze play either. Let's see how the Braves play it. Darno at third. Franco bird dogs him at the line. And no sign of a bunt. Strike 1.
Sliders. Not doing Matt any favors with the runner at third.
It's tough to get it past Carlos Ruiz behind the plate.
Yeah, I was thinking a minute ago when you said that he and Howard were the last leftovers from their World Championship. I never would have guessed that. Howard, yeah, maybe. Ruiz, no, not with all that pitching that they had. Yeah, the Rollins and Utley combo.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and Carlos couldn't hang on. It's a shame in this regard for the Phillies. Boy, Halladay just broke down at the end. Cliff Lee broke down at the end. I think they're still paying Cliff Lee this year too. And of course, they traded Cole Hamels to Texas and got a bevy of prospects, many of whom are still toiling at AAA but are knocking on the door of the big league club. 1-2 pitch. Whistler ground ball. Franco off the heel of his glove, recovered it short. Long throw, and Howard hangs on. What a play by Galvis to back up Michael Franco. It trickled off his glove. Galvis was right there, and he threw a strike to first for the 2nd out. Freddie Gonzalez might want to take a look at this play at first base.
This was just a heads-up play by Galvis not to take anything for granted. He went over to more or less back him up and found the ball coming right to him. And he definitely kept his foot on the bag.
So that's a 5-6-3 ground out. Now the infield can back up. but not an easy out because Nick Markakis, the club leader in RBIs, is digging in.
Carlos Ruiz now 37 years old. And as hard as good catching is to find, they've done a good job of hanging on to him.
Dropped in for a strike. Cameron Rupp is the other catcher for the Phillies. And they'll play Rupp 3 days in a row, Ruiz 2 days in a row, and then send Rupp back out there. So not only sharing time, but they're getting good production from Ruiz as a result of that rest. Rupp's hit a homer. He's knocked in 4 runs too. 2 balls and a strike. No double to lead off the inning. He's at third with 2 outs. And lined back to the mound. Wow. Morgan in perfect fielding position to rob Nick Markakis of a first Atlanta run. No runs, a hit. 1 man left. They go to the 4th.
The 4th inning. Now, many of you guys know that Jeff Francoeur played for the Phillies last season. Well, their third baseman, Michael Franco, was a power hitter. He is a power hitter. And Jeff told him, look, if you get 15 home runs, I'm going to buy you a brand new suit. Well, Franco got 14 and then got hurt and then got put on the DL. So he never got that 15th home run. So he never got that suit. And I was talking to Jeff before the game, and he was like, you know, that's not my fault he went on the DL. I might get him a T-shirt or something. But no suit for Michael Franco.
So close.
Yep.
So close to, well, I won't say where Jeff would have bought the suit, but it would be insulting.
Yes. Well, we're not
to Jeff, just to the store.
Yes. Well, Franco's going to fly by 14 home runs this year. He's already got 6. Base hit to start his night, and he beats the shift with a second hit. He's 2 for 2. And that's a good sign for the Phillies. He had not been swinging the bat very well lately. But 2 hard hit balls, and they have a leadoff man aboard here in the 4th inning.
2 hard hit balls up the middle, beating the Braves shift. It has him playing strongly to pull. Well, the good thing is the Braves don't have to worry about a bunt here.
Yeah, true. In his day, Ryan Howard was just an amazing offensive player. When he tore his Achilles on the last day of the season a couple of years ago, that really sapped his strength. Never was a truly mobile first baseman. And
The Phillies, under the leadership of Ruben Amaro, fairly or unfairly, took a lot of heat because they didn't dismantle their team perhaps a couple of years ago. And they were unable to find a taker for Ryan Howard, who's making another $25 million this year. There's an option on his services for next year. And if they don't bring him back, he's going to make another $10 million on the buyout.
Tell you what, those deals that Ruben Amaro and the Phillies negotiated with some of these guys that are no longer there included hefty buyouts.
Cliff Lee, $12.5 million this year after $25 million in salary last year, and he didn't throw a pitch.
So what they're doing, folks, is they're paying those guys in lieu of paying for their contracts, which is about half of what they would have made.
Swing and a miss. Howard blown away by a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Whistler's second strikeout. And here's the catcher, Carlos Ruiz, who popped out his first time.
High target, delivered above his hands just a bit. Speaking of buyouts, quite a contract for Mr. Strasburg, his extension with the Nationals, huh?
7 years, $175 million, a record-setting contract for a Tommy John surgery recipient. And the interesting part of that deal, Joe, is that there's an opt-out clause for Strasburg after year 3 or year 4, and $70 million of that contract is deferred without interest. So Strasburg's going to make, on average, around $15 million to stay in Washington, with a chance to go back out in the market in a couple of years.
See that opt-out thing? If you want an opt-out after 3 years, then let's make it a 3-year deal. Then you be a free agent again and protect the team going forward. Now, if a team came to the owners and say we want an opt-out after 3 or 4 years, it's too bad the teams aren't saying, okay, we'd like the same courtesy.
Right. I mean, it's a no-lose situation for Strasburg. I mean, if he blows out in year 3, I'm going to stay for 7.
Team's on the hook.
Yeah. And if he pitches great like he's pitching now, he can walk back into free agency and get an even bigger contract, perhaps. Runner goes. Pitch popped up out of play. The interesting thing, too, is the ripple effect, Joe, that's going to have this offseason. It was thought that Steven Strasburg was going to be the most attractive free agent pitcher on the market. Now he's off the market. And so teams that are looking for starting pitching at the deadline are probably going to have to pay a very hefty premium, especially for pitchers that are under team control.
Right. Because there's just not that ace that's going to be available in the offseason.
2 balls and a strike for Carlos Ruiz. R.A. Dickey will be out there. Bartolo Colon will be out there, but they're 40-year-old pitchers.
Yeah, but Bartolo can hit.
That's a good point.
No, I get your point. That makes people start scanning the rosters of teams for people that might be attractive to them.
2 balls, 2 strikes. But I will say this, Steven Strasburg is pitching like a guy that would probably deserve $175 million on the open market should he go there. Would he have gone there after this year? He's 5-0 at 2.36 ERA this year for the Nationals.
Yeah, it just ballooned a little bit ERA wise after his last start.
Right. But there is risk.
Yeah, they didn't.
What, 5 years out of Tommy John surgery, and he's been disabled 6 separate times already in his career.
And how about Jordan Zimmerman, who signed for a lot less to go to Detroit? You'd have to really think about who you'd rather have. Detroit's mighty happy with the way things turned out for them with Zimmerman.
And the Tigers could use some good news. They are scuffling. They've lost 7 games in a row, scored 20 runs in those 7 games, and they're in Washington tonight. Runner goes again. Ruiz fouls it back again.
really good chance if they can somehow get Ruiz to take a third strike or swing and miss. They got a real good shot at throwing out Franco. He's got the way he's been over at the waist. He's not in a real athletic running position and takes real choppy steps once he starts to second base.
He's going. Ruiz splits the gap in left. And Franco on his way to third. The throw's going to come to third, but it's off target. No advance by Ruiz. And the Phillies work the hit and run to perfection. They have him first and third with one out. And Freddie Galvis coming up.
Yeah, it's not a hit and run, but it's the same thing as 3-2 count. Runners going. Takes a little peek. Somebody's got to cover in case there is a strikeout. And with Ibar covering, Ruiz rolls one through.
So a fly ball could give the Phillies a lead. Galvis provided one of those in the second. He's knocked in 14 runs. Looks for number 15 here. First bit of trouble for Whistler tonight. First and third, one away. Hit Freddie Galvis. One ball, no strikes.
Well, he needs a ground ball, and again he gets more fly ball outs than ground ball outs. But this is one time where he's trying to get a ground ball and started him with a breaking ball.
Popped up. Markakis in right. Franco tags at third. There's the catch, and Nick won't offer a throw. It's a sacrifice fly. Galvis does have his 15th RBI, and the Phillies have scored first. It's 1-0. So the leadoff hit comes home for the Phillies. And with two outs, Tyler Goodell will bat. He never played above Double-A until this year, and as Joe said, getting a crack with the Phillies.
His brother's in the big leagues. Eric Goodell, pitcher. This guy's pretty impressive minor league stats, though, for Tampa Bay coming up. Both power and speed.
One ball, no strikes. And a high hopper hit towards short. Barnes got it. He'll throw on the run, and that will retire the side. The Phillies pick up a run on 2 hits and a sacrifice fly. 1-0.
Really grown on my family, and we're very, very comfortable here. And to see the commitment, not only into the players that they bring in, but the guys that they draft. There's just a lot of high character guys, a lot of guys with a lot of talent. So I really feel like this organization is going to be winning and succeeding for many years to come, and I definitely want to be a part of that.
So good for Steven Strasburg. And a nice coup for Mike Rizzo, and somewhat rare too, Joe. Scott Boras client signs an extension in the middle of the season rather than testing free agency.
High risk for the Washington Nationals, in my opinion. Tommy John surgery. He's had shoulder issues. He had a lat muscle issue that put him on the disabled list last year. And he's a guy who's gained the nickname of 72 and sunny. He doesn't like to pitch in hot weather. A little finicky about stuff like that. I give it to him. He is pitching lights out this year. We'll see what happens from here on out.
Ender Inciarte leads off for the Braves, and he takes strike. The signing of Strasburg, and we'll finish up here, but it does lead to an interesting question. How much money do the Lerners have left to sign Bryce Harper? Because he's a looming free agent in a year or so. And if Bryce Harper sees Steven Strasburg get $15 million a year, that's probably just the beginning.
Well, trust me, Bryce Harper is not going to look at 7 years, $175 million as $15 million a year.
Yeah,
he's going to do long division on that.
Yeah. Some folks are thinking he might be a $40 million a year player. One ball, two strikes for Ender Inciarte, and he strokes one to right field. That'll get down in front of Borges. And Ender Inciarte has the second Atlanta hit, and a good start for Atlanta in the fourth inning. Let's see if this is the fateful fourth for Adam Morgan.
Yeah, and another leadoff guy on that helps. Part of the order last inning after the leadoff double that made it difficult for the Braves to score. Maybe a different story here. I mentioned Bryce Harper. He didn't do himself any PR favors last night.
Yeah, that was
ugly.
It was ugly.
I mean, he's all about fun, though, making baseball fun.
Well, it's sad, too, because on Mother's Day, there was a great story about Bryce Harper in Chicago. As he was getting on the team bus to go to the airport, Bryce Harper saw a homeless lady sitting outside the ballpark, walked over and handed her a big jar of money for Mother's Day. Didn't ask for any publicity on that. It was something that was noticed by the Cubs security people, and they justifiably said, wow, what a nice gesture. And then yesterday, Bryce Harper ejected in the game, and during the post-game scrum after they had a walk-off homer, Bryce Harper yelled an expletive at the umpire and came on the field after being ejected, which is a no-no, and there's some who think he might be fined or suspended for that.
I think he should be suspended just for what he said to the umpire after he came back out on the field. It was disrespectful in any way you want to shape it.
Freeman scorches one to center. Back-to-back hits for Atlanta. Inciarte never stopped running. Herrera dropped the ball in center, but no further advance. And the Braves have him first and third with nobody out. Those are the kinds of plays that have given Herrera trouble. He's not going back on fly balls, but balls right in front of him. He's bobbled a few of them this year, and that almost cost him a run.
Yeah, he took his eye off this one. Started looking at Inciarte. Good swing by Freddie. Little inside-out operation there. Second time through the order against Morgan.
As we said, has one bad inning in every start. And this one's shaping up to be a good inning for the Braves.
Here's Flowers. Tyler popped out to Ryan Howard to start the second. Great chance for the Atlanta offense. low. 1 ball, no strikes.
About Tyler Flowers when he's had an opportunity to drive in a run. Runners in scoring position.
And a lot of those hits have been right field, and in this situation, looks like he's got a big hole to play with. Howard holding Freeman at first. Hernandez working near the second base bag at second base.
He had one of the clutch hits in that 3-run 8th inning for Atlanta on Sunday.
Deep short, sliding stop. Galvis, Hernandez, the turn, double play. Galvis does it again. Morgan gets a ground ball. It costs him a run and the lead, but the bases are empty with 2 outs.
Ball was hit sharply. Outstanding play by Galvis, who, as you said, Chip, really doesn't need to take a backseat to anybody in the National League, but certainly not one of those guys that you read more about than the Crawfords and the Cozarts and some others. Echeverria.
So we're square in a run apiece. Here's Francoeur. Tipped it. Leaves his glove. No balls at a strike. No RBI for Flowers. That's the penalty for hitting into the double play. Driven to right. Borges is there. He's got it. And the side is retired. All in all, nice job by Morgan. First and third, nobody out. He holds the Braves to a run and we're tied heading to the 5th. Tonight, as we've completed 4 innings, our game's tied 1 apiece. Adam Morgan's the Philly pitcher. He'll lead off against Matt Whistler. He flied out his first time up. Whistler threw 104 pitches in his 8-inning stint against the Mets. He's been pretty economical again tonight. He's gone 3-0 to the pitcher. a full count.
Some bad news on the off day about another former Brave, Andrelton Simmons. That one's hit toward Inciarte in center. He'll make the catch for the first out. Simmons has torn a ligament in his left thumb that needs surgery. He's going to miss a couple of months at the very least for the Angels.
Did he do that diving for a ball, or
I haven't
horrible hit first slides?
I don't know the answer to that. That's a shame for Andrelton, who wasn't all that productive offensively with the Angels, and the Halos are just being destroyed by injuries this year. So we hope Andrelton heals quickly and gets back. As Peter Borges rips one out of play, foul in the lower deck, and on the ricochet into the 7th row. Driven toward left. Francoeur going back. That ball is over his head and off the top of the wall. Borges on his way to second, and he'll slide in with a double. He just missed untying this game.
He's not a home run hitter. He is a hit it and run guy. Great wheels. Breaking ball that wasn't a very good one, and he just golfed this and just at the yellow line. Ooh, that was close. Francoeur made a good play and a good throw, but Borges' wheels too good.
Borges, we saw Borges with the Angels, and both of us were raving about what a good, exciting young player he looked like back in 2011. Wrist and hamstring problems have sidetracked his offensive career. He was then traded to the Cardinals with Randall Grichuk for David Freese and Fernando Salas before the 2014 year.
And he just didn't hit with the Cardinals. Defense was still fine, but he just didn't hit.
200 average for the Cardinals last year. Here's Herrera. Tough spot for Whistler. Best Phillies hitter up there in a run scoring situation. Ball one, strike one for Odubel Herrera.
A .471 average in his scoring position for this guy.
Fly ball right. That'll be playable for Markakis. Borges thinks about tagging, and he's going to come to third, and he'll slide in ahead of the throw. Borges 90 feet away for the Phillies with 2 outs, and Cesar Hernandez coming up.
Chan Ho looked it up for us, Chip, and Andrelton Simmons was injured when he landed awkwardly on his glove hand while trying to stop a grounder. Came out of the game immediately.
Foul away at the plate. Richards, Houston Street, Andrew Haney, C.J. Wilson, and Andrelton Simmons all hurt for the Los Angeles Angels. High to Hernandez, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Angels are hosting the Cardinals tonight. Mike Leake, who's pitching for St. Louis, has not yet won with the Cardinals. They'll face Albert Pujols, who's batting .190 so far this year.
You mentioned Andrelton's struggles. He had gotten a hit Saturday and snapped an 0 for 21. He was only hitting .219.
Two balls, 1 strike. Go ahead run at third for the Phillies, and a good off-speed pitch for Hernandez. 2-2.
Phillies only hitting .233 with runners in scoring position as a team this year. Their run tonight came on a sacrifice fly in the 4th. And a base hit to right by Hernandez puts Philadelphia back in front. Big 2-out hit for Cesar Hernandez. Borges scores. It's now 2-1.
Like another off-speed pitch, but not very well located. Yeah, supposed to be a back foot breaking ball, and instead it was a barrel of the bat breaking ball.
And Franco's up again. He's 2 for 2 and scored the first Phillies run.
Told to me today of Franco that he tries to hit a home run on every swing regardless of the count. Maybe because he missed out on that suit.
In the air towards center. Terrific jump by Inciarte. He'll get there. And that'll retire the side. A couple of breaking balls cost Matt Whistler his second run of the night. 2-1 Phillies. Phillies, another 1-run game for the Philadelphia Ball Club. That leads us to our Toyota key stat tonight.
And that is that the Phillies were the worst in the National League last year. A lot of 1-run games, but they were on the short end of too many of them, and this year they're 11-3. Their bullpen has been very good, especially late in the game.
Averaging over a strikeout per inning pitched for Pete McCannon. And here's Morgan. He's never beaten the Braves. He's winning tonight. He's got Gordon Beckham leading off the 5th. The last start for Morgan was pretty good until replay got it. I'll explain after the pitch. Ruben Tejada hit a ball down the left field line that the umpires couldn't decide if it was fair or foul. They went to a video replay to determine whether it was fair or foul. It was a 5-minute replay review. And at that time, Morgan had been rolling merrily along after 4 innings. Gave up 4 straight hits in the 5th. And that pretty much ended his day against St. Louis. And flies out. 1 man down.
Another well struck ball.
Here's d'Arnaud. He had the first Braves hit. It was a double leading off the 3rd.
We talked about all these 1-run games for the Phillies. 11-3. Their largest margin of victory is 4 runs. So they're playing a lot of close games.
There have to be some blowouts in there too, because
Phillies have won 18 games. They've lost 14. They have a negative run differential of 26 counting tonight. Yet they're 2.5 games out of first place.
We'll go back to the 1960 World Series. Pirates and Yankees. Check out the run differential in that one. Yankees were killing the Pirates in 3 games, but guess who won the series thanks to Bill Mazeroski?
You only need to win by 1 in the other 4.
That's right.
In pretty good shape. High strike, 2 balls and a strike now. Speaking of the Pirates, they were rained out in Cincinnati today.
Is that the 2nd straight day for that?
Don't know the answer to that. Well, the Pirates are struggling. They've lost 6 of 8. We'll see them on our upcoming road trip. Arnold pops out. And 2 men are down. Morgan's breaking some bats. Another one shattered. This one by Chase Darno. Frank Cool broke the bat earlier.
They played yesterday in Cincinnati. 2 games that were rained out were the Padres at Chicago and Baltimore at Minnesota.
Yeah, they had rain in Chicago today. Apparently they're getting that one started, and a day-night doubleheader tomorrow at Wrigley.
Bad weather in the middle part of the country yesterday. Oklahoma was peppered with tornadoes.
Yeah, everybody okay at home?
Yep.
Good. Thank goodness for that. Thoughts and prayers with everybody in the Midwest. As Eric Aribar digs in, base is empty and 2 out. 2-1 Phillies.
You know, this home field thing is hard to figure for the Braves, being 1-15, lost 10 in a row here. I don't know where to hang any thoughts of why, but think of all the new players that have never played at Turner Field on a regular basis that are on this team. This is not really their home field, except for what they've played in so far this year.
Good point. Really a home field disadvantage for a lot of these first-year Braves. Morgan takes care of the Braves in order in the 5th. Down here at Turner Field, and the Braves, world famous dancing ushers, have the honors tonight.
Look at Melvin and Herman. Herman is going to town in those spats I think he's got on tonight. He barely gets out of the golf cart. He's got his cane and then he starts dancing. Love it. A little help please there. Okay. All right, a little more dancing. Yeah, make sure you wave. You get in trouble if you don't wave.
I think they followed the rules to a T, didn't they?
They did. All right. Way to go, gentlemen.
Here we go to the 6th inning already. Ryan Howard leads off with an 0 for 2 start tonight. As we mentioned in our opening commentary tonight, this is a very special night in the history of the Braves. Season tickets at SunTrust Park for the general public went on sale today. Derek Schiller is going to stop by and visit with us tomorrow. Talk about not only how the season ticket sales have gone, but the incredible progress that we were able to see last week at SunTrust Park. And a strike to Howard. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I know I keep using the word amazing, but it is just fabulous. And the fans are going to love it.
Way upstairs. 2-2 the count. What's great about the park is, one, how many seats will be $20 or less. The fan comfort that will take place as Howard drives one to center. A 90-foot canopied roof and the cantilever design will keep fans as cool as possible in the Georgia summers. And we were both amazed at how, no matter where you stand, no matter where your seats are, there really isn't a bad seat in the house because of the way the fans are so close to the action.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know how you could configure a stadium any differently to bring everyone close. No matter where we were, you're right. Felt like you're right there.
Here's Carlos Ruiz with 1 out. One of the great features too, when you enter the ballpark, you have the ability to walk all the way around in a 360-degree arc on the lower concourse to take in all the different views. Great fan amenities. There are restaurants and bars and shops and social areas and
the Roxy Theater.
The Roxy Theater in the Battery development. So it truly will be a unique experience for Braves fans. Very different from that here at Turner Field because it is about the experience as well as the game.
Yeah, and as soon as the on-field entertainment gets where it's headed,
right,
it will be quite a place.
As Ruiz takes a 4-pitch walk with 1 out. He's aboard in front of Freddie Galvis, who scored the first Phillies run with a sacrifice fly. One thing about Matt during this good run, he's had good control. Again, excellent control tonight. It's only his first walk. He has those scattered 6 hits. So plenty to talk about with Derek Schiller tomorrow night. Hope you'll join us for that. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about a Braves comeback win over the Phillies as well. It's a 2-1 game.
Galvis had the sacrifice fly in the 4th inning for the first run for the Phillies. He's a .308 career hitter against Atlanta.
In the air to center. Inciarte, he's got it. He tries to deke the runner. The throw is going to beat it.
How about the footwork by Freddie Freeman? That was a great job by Inciarte to lure him a little bit farther off the bag, but Freddie was not on the base and blindly did a nice shift to get his foot on the bag and take the throw. Where is it? Where is it? Just kidding.
Ruiz wandered too far, and Inciarte guns him out at first with a fancy footwork of Freddie Freeman. Nice double play. Home 6th coming up. after Ender Inciarte made this great deke and throw for our Zaxby's indescribably good play.
It was a tremendous fake out. I mean, he had Ruiz completely fooled. His teammates high-fiving him the whole time between innings about what a great move it was.
Every single one of the Braves outfielders came in and gave Inciarte the high five after this fake out. So Ender beaming from ear to ear as that ends the Phillies' 6th. Now Matt Whistler leads off for the Braves, down a run. It's a 2-1 game. Typical Phillies game. And Morgan, who's never beaten the Braves, has allowed just 3 hits tonight.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of interaction there might be between Inciarte and Ruiz when he gets to the plate.
Swing and a miss by Matt Whistler. We'll find out after Nick Markakis bats. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Nick struck out looking in the first and hit a line drive back to the box. Morgan speared that. Had he not caught it, it might have brought home d'Arnaud with the first run of the night for the Braves. Instead, it ended the inning. Mentioned the Braves' struggles at home. Well documented. Had a 1 in 15 here at Turner Field. As this one's hit towards short. Galvis has it. And a perfect throw for the second out. Braves are averaging less than 3 runs a game on their home field. They've hit 4 home runs at home. And they're hitting .235 as Inciarte and Ruiz are chatting just a bit.
It's probably good that Mike Uchlinski, the home plate umpire, can't speak Spanish and listen in on that deal.
And it was backing out. I like the fact that Mike lets you know where the pitch is. We can hear it from our crowd mic.
2-0 count. See if he goes to his pattern of off-speed pitches. Nope, not this time.
Unfortunately, we haven't had the bad inning from Morgan yet. Braves run scored in the 4th inning, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Flowers hit into a double play, and that's how Ender scored the lone Braves run. That slashed foul out of play to the left side. It's 2-2. Toward Hernandez. He'll charge, can't make the play. And there's a break. Inciarte will reach with a 2-out infield hit. So Ender has a 2-hit night. And with one swing, Freddie Freeman could turn the game to the Braves' favor.
Kind of saw a problem coming once it bounced over the mound. Tough play for anybody. Hernandez couldn't keep it in his glove.
Freddie Freeman, one of 4 Braves hitters that had great luck last year against the Phillies. That's our Georgia Lottery jackpot feature.
Need a little more of that damage right here. He singled his last time up.
shift. And from shallow right field, Hernandez throws out Freeman. And we are headed to the 7th inning.
Two to one headed into the 7th inning. It's time for our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball minor league report. You see in Gwinnett, Casey Kelly, we saw him earlier here in the season, sub-2 ERA in 4 starts, and that is Tyrell Jenkins right there, a 2.76 ERA in 6 starts, and we all know this name. There's Ozzie Albies, 7 hits in the last 16 ABs. He did have a home run tonight. Chris Ellis, know that name, guys. He is 4-0 at AA. And then Jason Hirsch. Look at that ERA in 9 appearances. That's incredible.
Thank you, Kelsey. You're right. And that's what's so exciting for the Braves. We know that the Major League Club is going to struggle the way it's configured right now. But there is hope. There are very talented kids on their way as Tyler Goodell singles to start the 7th inning for the Phillies. That's his first hit in 3 tries tonight.
Ellis was part of the deal that the Anderson Simmons trade. I believe he was the 3rd member, if you want to put it that way, of that deal, and he's already off to a great start. And Jason Hirsch was a high draft pick. I want to say a 1st-round pick. May not be 1st round, out of Oklahoma State, and was a starter, but he's been put in the bullpen, and what we saw of him in spring training, outstanding changeup, and good to see him pitching so well.
You and I looked at each other when Hirsch pitched a couple of games down there and said, how's this guy not in the mix with 97 and then an 82-mile-an-hour changeup?
Right. Might see him soon.
Yeah, Jason was a 1st-round pick in 2013, the 31st selection overall. And Morgan with a bunt. Whistler's going to go to 2nd. Out there. Darno off the bag at 1st. Morgan bunts into a force play. And as so often happens, Hirsch never really gained a lot of traction as a starting pitcher. They put him in the pen and he's taken off.
Boy, good play here. Good accurate throw by Whistler, fielding his position and cutting down that lead runner and leaving the pitcher to run the bases. Good job.
Peter Borges missed a home run by a foot last time up. His double turned into the go-ahead run for the Phillies, though. Until this year, he had never played anywhere else but center field in the major leagues, playing right out of necessity this year in Philly. 1 ball, no strikes. Atlanta's bullpen begins to work. Whistler at 84 pitches. High fly ball to left. It's going to carry out toward left center, and Inciarte will call off Francoeur. 2 outs. And Odubel Herrera's coming up. Game 2 tomorrow night. Hope you'll join us. Jared Eichhoff will pitch for the Phillies. Julius Chassin will pitch for the Braves. And then another night game here on Thursday. Velasquez and Aaron Blair.
That'll be a good matchup.
Yeah. Velasquez has been a revelation for the Phillies, one of the principals in the Ken Giles deal. Already with a 16 strikeout game to his credit this year for the Phillies. Herrera has a double in 3 trips. And strike 1. Herrera's from Zulia, Venezuela. Phillies took him in the Rule 5 draft before last season, and he rewarded them with a .297 year with 8 homers.
That country just keeps spitting out great players, doesn't it? It's a huge country, and you almost need a full scouting staff just to cover that country alone in the international side. It's another area where the Braves are in good position this winter, or this summer rather. I think it's after June 1st they can begin signing international free agents that are at least 16 years old.
Sharply hit towards second, and Darno can't handle it. So that keeps the inning alive on an error. The 26th error by the Atlanta defense, and it gives the Phillies an extra out. Cesar Hernandez is going to be the hitter.
And what really hurts is that Matt Whistler was about to have a real quick inning, like a 10-pitch, 12-pitch inning, something like that. Even 8, Chan tells me, could have been an 8-pitch inning. Instead, he's got to work a little harder.
We know the Braves have had bullpen trouble. We know the Braves in the first 31 games have had power trouble. To me, the biggest area of concern has been defensively. And that's something Joe and I talked about this spring. For a club that has so little margin for error, they cannot afford to give up extra outs in prolonged innings. See if Whistler can pitch out of this jam here in the 7th. Phillies already lead 2-1, 2 on and 2 out.
That last ground ball that Chase had problems with. Watch his glove. Look how flat his glove gets here. Infielders want to get in front of the ball, but sometimes if your glove is lying almost flat on the ground, there's a good chance the ball could come up and hit you in the wrist like it did there. Yes, he's in front of it, but didn't have his glove more fingers down into the dirt where the glove is taller. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Low angle.
Yeah. So when it's flatter, any chance of a ball that takes any kind of a middling hop is going to give you some problems, and it did there.
Outfield shortens up in left and center. They play Hernandez as an opposite field hitter. And Whistler ready with a 1-2 pitch. Good cut. We'll do it again. Hernandez, another native of Venezuela. From Valencia, Carabobo, Venezuela.
Oh, good pitch.
Just missed.
Track says it right at the bottom corner of the zone. Just didn't get the call. I think Buchlinski has been very good tonight. Just might have missed that one.
Mentioned the injury to Anderson Simmons. Cesar Hernandez had the same injury last September and had surgery to repair that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Back to the mound, and Matt's got it. He pitches around the air. Let's get this kid a run. He is pitching his you-know-what off. 2-1 is your score, 7th inning stretch. Trust Park season tickets, as we told you, are now on sale with a capacity of 41,500 and seats right on top of the action. SunTrust Park will offer the best sightlines of baseball. Act quickly to get the best seats before they're all gone. Visit Braves.com/SunTrustPark and get your tickets today.
And the days of deking a guy in the outfield because it looks like he lost the ball in the lights, they may be going away. Lights in the outfield.
I can't tell if you're happy or you're sad about that.
No, I'm happy about that. No, the outfielders will be too.
We were told that there's a very cool website that's available for fans called Virtual Venue, where you can log online and actually look at where your seats would be and what the sight lines would be for your potential season ticket purchases. So we encourage you to check that out as well.
It's also a link to virtual reality to go right down Main Street, if you will, to see all of the retail at Battery Atlanta as you're approaching the ballpark from the, I guess that would be from the west.
Yeah, from 41. Right?
Yes.
Tyler Flowers leads off the home 7th. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And how about Adam Morgan again? Never beat the Braves, hometown kid. Trying to win his first game of the year and leads 2-1. Ground ball to second. Hernandez got a friendly hop. 1 out. Seven ground outs, 4 strikeouts for Adam Morgan tonight. He's gotten a fly ball out and a ground out off the bat of Jeff Francoeur. Broke his bat, in fact, in the 2nd inning. And in reaching, that ball's driven to center. Back and shy of the track. Makes the grab. 2 outs.
Yeah, Jeff hit that one good.
Wind is blowing out, but Jeff couldn't send it over the boards at 400 feet away. 2 outs for Beckham.
Earlier I said that Matt Tuiasosopo had been sent back to AAA Gwinnett. He's actually been designated for assignment, which means he has to clear waivers since he was taken off the roster, and other teams can claim him And if no one does, he has the option of then reporting back to Gwinnett if he chooses.
And if you missed it, Ian Kroll was brought up by Atlanta today. Kroll had been really good against left-handed hitters in the minor leagues this year. 2 balls, no strikes. We saw Kroll in Washington a few years ago, and the guy that he reminded me of then was a young Johnny Vetters. Threw really hard, big slider.
I remember him with Detroit, I believe.
Right, that's where he was last.
Hitters count.
Braves got Kroll for Cameron Maybin. Cameron's been hurt almost all year for the Tigers. But again, they're trying to snap a long losing streak and are beating Washington tonight 4-3. See Justin Upton's numbers?
Yeah.
Already 50 strikeouts for Justin Upton in Detroit. And only 7 walks. Full count pitch is high. Beckham walks with 2 outs. He represents the tying run. Don't forget to stay with us after our ball game. Braves Live presented by Xfinity. Will follow us as Matt Whistler and the Braves try to come back against Adam Morgan and the Phillies in Game 1 tonight.
And the Braves bullpen continues to work.
That's the first walk for Adam Morgan, who, as we told you, has impeccable control. Jason Grilli is getting ready for the Braves. Jason had a good inning in his last outing. Let's see if d'Arnaud can chase home Beckham. Strike outside corner. Ripped back toward us.
Chan was ready. Got his right hand out there ready to catch it, and he's not even left-handed.
He's going to protect the hot dog heating hand at all costs.
Good point. Haven't seen a hot dog tonight.
And the dirt. Ruiz blocked that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think Chan got the hot dogs in pregame.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right as lineups were being released, Chan was full bore on the hot dog machine here in the booth.
He worked the Washington-Detroit game last night. And boy, are there some hot dogs in Washington.
Ball foul by Chase d'Arnaud. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Washington's looking up at the Mets, by the way. New York's taken over first place in our division. With a good road trip out west in San Diego, now LA. It's a half-game lead. Phillies 2.5 back. And no swing. Just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's throwing a little cutter off his fastball. I think that's what broke Francoeur's bat. A couple other guys got jammed a little bit.
We were told his velocity's up a little bit as he's recovered from the shoulder problems. In the air to right. Burgess with center fielder speed is on the run. He'll get there. And that will retire the side. Nothing doing for Atlanta in the 7th. 2-1 Phillies lead.
It's time for your Xfinity game break. We'll head over to Fenway, where the Red Sox are hosting the A's. Hanley Ramirez unloads on a pitch over the Green Monster. Get this, a projected 468-foot shot. That's the MLB's second longest of the season. The Red Sox lead 11-1 in the 6th inning, guys.
How about the Red Sox? A dreadful year last year. They are tied for first with Baltimore in the AL East with 19 wins. And that one is hit high in the air by Michael Franco. Deep to left on the first pitch. And for a man that tries to hit a home run with every swing, well, he just hit one a mile. It's 3-1.
Up in his eyes. Matt Whistler didn't even want to turn around.
That's been the pitch that's given him trouble tonight, right? These breaking balls have cost him some hits and a couple of runs, and that long homer by Franco.
Yeah, I think most of them though have been the slider. I don't know that they've been the curveball like that one.
Sharply hit by Ryan Howard into the shift, and there's the first out. Put out goes 6-3. And one away.
Carlos Ruiz got deked his last time on base in that double play. This guy's a class act. Remember, I think it was last year when he was having a conversation with Eddie Perez, and Ruiz asked Eddie, what's the deal with Bethancourt? You know, why isn't he catching every day? What's the problem? Eddie told him a few things, and Ruiz said, give me his phone number.
Fly ball to the right. Markakis will catch that for the second out. This is a guy that plays against the Braves.
Yeah,
a guy that's trying to beat the Braves, and Christian Bethancourt.
And wanted to, I think, especially from a Latino perspective, talk to him about what it takes to not only play at this level, but the things that Ruiz has had to do to have a 10-year major league career. That it takes hard work and dedication. Anyway, I thought that was a big-time, big league move by a guy from the other team.
And every franchise has deals that work out, players that work out, players that don't work out. The Christian Bethancourt one was a heartbreaking one on a couple of different levels. He has all the physical tools to be a terrific major league catcher, and maybe he will someday. But you'll recall, Bethancourt was the catcher of the future of this franchise, and as such, the decision was made to let Brian McCann go into free agency because the Braves thought Bethancourt could handle the job every day. So the ripple effect was no Brian McCann, now no Christian Bethancourt, who was a young player who could have filled that job for 10 years here. That hurt. As did the long homer by Michael Franco here in the 8th. And Whistler missed again. It was 3 balls and a strike.
We never saw the defensive prowess of Christian Bethancourt that we had been led to believe and had been professed.
And that's ball 4 outside. Whistler still has good zip on the fastball, but he issues a 2-out walk, his second walk of the game. He's at 103 pitches. See if he can get Goodell and finish with 8 innings tonight.
And he'll be second up in the bottom of the 8th.
Goodell has a hit that came last time up in the 7th.
Interesting note on him and their media guide. His father, David Goodell, is a biotech industry pioneer who developed synthesized insulin.
Wow.
Sharp clan.
to third. The throw to second in plenty of time, and that retires the side. First pitch homer to Michael Franco for the Phillies extends their lead to 3-1. Whistler with 8 strong innings at home tonight. Our Mazda game summary as we head to the home 8th.
Matt Whistler's pitched a good ball game. He'll be out after 8 innings, giving up 3 runs. Adam Morgan has come back to Atlanta with a little revenge on his mind. A 4-hitter giving up only 1 run. Home run by Franco. Cesar Hernandez also an RBI. Still manageable. 3-1 as the Phillies go to their bullpen.
And the first man out is a man that has a devastating split finger pitch. Hector Neris.
Check out the strikeouts. 28 in 20 innings. It's #1. That's the most strikeouts by any reliever in the National League.
And it's not surprising. Strikeouts such a big part of this Phillies ball club. Their bullpen has struck out more than 1 man per inning on average. 107 strikeouts in 102 1/3 innings collectively for the Phillies. No balls and a strike for Eric Ibar. 3-1 Philadelphia. The other thing about Neris that they like so much, you want your relief pitchers to have good control, and he does. He's only walked 4 of the 143 right-handed hitters he's faced in his career.
Mid-90s fastball in that split, and we're told that this split is like an old-fashioned forkball in that it moves like almost like a forkball, and it knuckles and it flies all over the place.
Hector, 26 years old, out of Villa Altagracia, Dominican Republic.
And a good look at the grip there as he threw that one in the dirt. Another. He has struck out 28 of the 76 batters he's faced this year. Geared up for 94, and you get 88 or 86 from the split.
Fastball high, full count. Braves need base runners. Someone to pop one. Fly ball to right. And Burgess is there for out number 1. Malik Smith grabs the bat. I think it's telling with all the roster moves the Braves have made that Malik Smith is still here, and deservedly so. Last 7 games, 9 hits. 7 of his first 15 big league hits for extra bases. I think he's first or second in defensive runs saved for outfielders, and he's only played in a handful of ball games for the Braves. Good idea. Tried to bunt, fouled it away. Strike 1.
And second on the team in RBIs. Markakis leads the team with 20.
Check swing. Malik's on the run. Galvis has to hurry his throw and just did beat him. So Malik's out on a check swing roller to short. 2 outs.
You might remember a couple of years ago, maybe 3 by now, that when Chase Utley was having so many problems with his knees, Freddie Galvis was their second baseman. Nobody knew much about him. And quite frankly, we didn't know that he was a shortstop because he played second base so well and had such amazing range. Quite a defensive player.
Markakis didn't get the split. Strike 1. They go for 3 tonight. Phillies try to win their 3rd straight game. 3 runs and a cloud of dust for them. Poked foul 0-2. Braves trying to avoid a 16th home loss in 17 home games. Whistler tonight went 8 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and a couple of strikeouts, and a late home run that extends the Phillies lead to 2. But for Whistler, back-to-back 8-inning starts. Economical with his pitch count. Pitch. And that's bounced off the plate. Foul at first.
That was another split finger pitch. And watch this thing dive. I mean straight down.
You saw the splitter a lot, I'm sure, in the era in which you played. What was the secret to hitting it?
It was tough because we didn't see it. We had never seen it that much. The only time that it really reared its ugly head was in Detroit when Roger Craig was teaching all those Detroit Tiger pitchers how to throw it, and it was nasty. It's like almost like a spitter. The guys who throw it right, it had great tumbling action straight down, and it was like a spitter.
Looks like a fastball, and then the bottom drops out.
Yep.
And his, as you said, goes east-west as well as north-south.
Yeah. Tim Hudson had an outstanding split. John Smoltz had a great split.
Big weapon in the 80s. Bruce Sutter wrote that pitch.
Sure.
To a ton of saves with the Cubs and the Cardinals and Braves. Good at bat by Markakis. He's run it full.
Just hard to elevate. You know, you can't. It's got to be a real bad one that he makes a mistake with for even to think about hitting the ball in the air.
10th pitch coming up in this at bat. And Markakis earned that walk. So the tying run comes to the plate. Enter Inciarte.
Interesting, though, he's given up 3 home runs in 20-plus innings.
The last time the Braves hit a home run that was not a solo home run was Drew Stubbs on April 10th. And that's the only non-solo homer the Braves have all year. Strike one. To second, and Neris will work around a 2-out walk, and we head to the 9th. Park season tickets are now on sale. Experience all SunTrust Park has to offer by buying those season tickets today. From world-class farm to fan food options, premium clubs, and a kids zone every kid can dream of, SunTrust Park will change the game forever. Visit Braves.com/SunTrust Park today. So it's the debut of Ian Kroll, whom the Braves acquired from the Tigers. And Kroll did great work against left-handed batters in the minor leagues.
Yes, he did. Lefties were only 3 for 22 against him. Turned 25 years old yesterday. He had bad spring. Pretty much cost him a spot on the roster because of the bad spring, but he's got his feet back under him, pitched well at Gwinnett. Hopefully he can help out here.
And he's got Darren Ruff leading off. Ruff hitting for Neris as we've hit the 9th inning. And like Jeff Rancour last year and this year, Ruff feasted against left-handed pitching in 2015. Ruff hit .371 with 8 homers against lefties. Was a lifetime .298 hitter against southpaw pitchers. He's got 2 hits in his last 17 at bats. Thankfully, it's not bark in the park day because he's awfully tough.
Yes, he is.
Those games. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Kroll. He strikes out rough on 4 pitches. And there's out number 1. Braves Live presented by Xfinity follows us tonight from Turner Field. We'll hear from Freddie Gonzalez and the Braves locker room. It's 3-1 Philadelphia in the 9th. Peter Borges lines a single into center field. 9 hits now for the Phillies. Borges has 2 of them.
Yeah, almost hit the homer back in the 5th inning and got a breaking ball there that he put a good swing on. How about the base coach for the Phillies at first base? Anybody recognize him? Mickey Morandini.
The dandy little glove man.
Yes, it is. First year as a major league coach for the Phils. Good to see him back in the big leagues.
He was on that '93 Phillies team, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, Mickey, you look at him, he looks like Opie Taylor. And you think about the rest of the guys on that Philly club. He was on the island of misfit toys. Terrific guy, terrific family. And wish him well, as Pete Buchanan has put together a pretty good staff. Bob McClure is their pitching coach. John McLaren, longtime bench coach with Lou Piniella on their staff. Rick Kranitz, former big league pitching coach, is with the Phillies.
Yeah, that's a pretty good bullpen coach. Former major league pitching coach.
Larry Boa is on the staff.
Steve Henderson, the hitting coach.
No balls and a strike for Odubel Herrera. He's reached twice. Once on an error, once on a double. Cole missed low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Julius Chassin for the Braves. Jarrett Eichhoff for the Phillies. Game 2 tomorrow night. Braves live at 6:30. First pitch 7:10.
This is where Kroll did his best work at Gwinnett against lefty hitters, and that's something that, you know, Roger McDowell and Freddie Gonzalez will be paying close attention to. How does he do against lefties?
Atlanta now has 3 left-handers in their bullpen. Quite a dramatic difference from the final days of spring training, when Braves weren't sure they were going to even have 1 lefty breaking camp. Eric O'Flaherty, the veteran lefty. Hunter Cervenka, who's been just about perfect, is out there as well.
Yeah, he did.
Got to ask at third. Nope, didn't go.
Got to stop his all body.
He's run the count full now.
Good chance Borges is running, but as much as Kroll has thrown over there, he may not get a real good jump.
High hopper toward Freeman. Momentum carries him to second, and he gets the lead runner. Nice play by Freddie Freeman to force Borges at second. Herrera's at first with 2 out.
Good play by Freddie. Came into the infield grass to cut that off and give himself a little better angle to get the ball to Ibar.
Cesar Hernandez, the hitter. He has an RBI. Close play at first. Almost got picked off.
Caught leaning. 5 steals, been caught twice. On that heater, and he was late.
The Phillies closer is Jean-Marc Gomez. He is getting ready in the Phillies pen. At the moment, he'll have a 3-1 lead to protect.
Another great Philly second baseman, former second baseman, who's their third base coach, Juan Samuel. He was their guy at second base just before Morandini.
That's headed foul. Bounce into the stands. Hapeville came away with that souvenir. In the air toward right, no play for Markakis. And it's still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cubs have taken a 5-1 lead over San Diego. Milwaukee's pounding Miami 8-2 in the 7th. Arizona and the Rockies scoreless early. Mets and Dodgers play a little later on. Yankees lead the Royals 7-6. Boy, what's wrong with Kansas City? Defending world champions are a game under 500 and already 7 games out of first place.
And just taken a 6-5 lead.
That's in the air toward right center field. Inciarte on his horse, still chugging. He's going to get there. And that will retire the side. Ian Cole with a scoreless inning in his Braves debut. Last call for Atlanta. Freddie Freeman will get the 9th inning started in a 3-1 game. SunTrust Park went on sale today. If you get your seats by this Friday, you'll be among the first to receive an exclusive behind-the-scenes hard hat tour of SunTrust Park. It's a great experience, one you'll never forget. Go to Braves.com/SunTrust Park now. In fact, they set us one of those SunTrust Park hard hats before the game tonight.
You look really good in it too.
I'm gonna put it on for the 9th inning. See if we can rally with it.
Rally hat.
Yeah.
Rally hard hat.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and slug me in the top of the head? I won't even feel it. Go ahead. Ow.
Yeah, I thought so.
3-1 game.
You shouldn't give me opportunities like that.
You've been waiting 6 years for your chance, haven't you? Can't say as I blame. Turner Field chopping away. Let's see if they can get something done against Jean-Marc Gomez, former starter with the Indians. He's turned into a very pleasant surprise for the Phillies.
Yeah, he's 11 out of 12 in saves. Done great work for them, especially when you consider how many close games they've played. 6 games last year against the Braves. No record at 150 ERA. Only gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings against Atlanta.
Another proud native of Venezuela, Gomez from Caracas. And he paints the inside corner with a strike. Phillies got him as a minor league free agent before last season. He pitched in 65 games, only walked 17 men in 74 innings.
That's awesome out of the pen.
That's roped foul. Great catch by a fan from Peachtree City.
All right. Gomez low 90s with an excellent changeup and a slider. Here are his numbers for the year. 156 average to left-handers because of that pitch, changeup.
Gomez made his major league debut with the Indians in 2010. He won his first 2 major league games that he started. He was only the 5th Cleveland pitcher since 1922 to do that. Freeman hits a long way toward left. That ball's got a chance. That ball is gone. Opposite field home run for Freddie Freeman. And the Braves have pulled to within a run. It's 3-2.
That ball jumped. Second home run allowed by Gomez this year. Freddie was all over this. He had the outer part of the plate covered and drove it the other way.
Home run number 5 for Freeman. 4 of them have come in the last 15 games. Freddie now 8 multi-hit games in the last 15 he's played. So there's a start.
And his 10th career homer against the Phillies.
Here's Tyler Flowers. 1-run game, 3-2. As a club have allowed a lot of home runs. 42 of them now. And now Tyler Flowers drives one toward right. Burgess back. Middle of the warning track has room. 1 out.
Yeah, they came into the game having allowed the 4th most home runs as a staff in baseball. Tyler almost got one for himself.
One in, 1 out for Jeff Francoeur. 1-run game. Jeff 0 for 3.
But he swung the bat well tonight, and he's being left in with a chance to drive one out of here, try and tie the game instead of giving way to a pinch hitter.
Fly ball center, not deep enough. Back now in. Gonzalez will go to his bench. Kelly Johnson will bat for Beckham. This will be a great spot for Kelly's first pinch hit of the year. What the Phillies have done in one-run games. Absolutely unbelievable. Their last 6 wins have been by 1 run. The last time they had 7 one-run wins in a row was in 1942. They won 10 consecutive one-run decisions that season. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was not a changeup. That was like a 2-seam where he turned over a little bit. See if he could get Kelly to hit one on the ground. There's the changeup. Great arm action on it.
So the Braves down to their last strike.
Changeup is such a great weapon for a closer. Typically, they're guys that have pretty good arms. Think of Trevor Hoffman and his changeup early in his career. He threw hard. And what an awesome weapon it was for Hoffman.
Fly ball to left. That's going to get down. Tying runs aboard for Atlanta. First pinch hit for Kelly Johnson. And Reed Brignac is going to step in. He could win it with one mighty swing.
Good at bat by Kelly. This was a changeup off the plate, probably 4 or 5 inches off the plate. He'd have stroked it the other way with the outfield playing deep, cut off any extra base hit. Just dropped it in front of him.
First pinch hit appearance for Reed Brignac tonight. He's got 3 hits in his first 16 at bats with the Braves. Freeman homer to start the inning. Can Brignac homer to end the inning and the game for Atlanta?
Just like Sunday when the team fought back, the Braves got 3 runs in the 8th inning. Eventually sent it into extra innings. Offensively, they may be short on the long ball, but they continue to fight and try to put some hits together to try to win games.
Seanmar Gomez has not been sharp. He missed again. Ball 2.
If you want to sit on a changeup here, you've got the opportunity to 2-0. I know hitters hate to let a good fastball go by, but this guy's changeup is so good. Might be a good opportunity for Reed to think about it. And it was a fastball. Outfield deep, trying to make sure they can keep Kelly Johnson from scoring from first on a ball in the gap.
2 balls and a strike for Reed Brignac. Fly ball, shallow center. Long run, Herrera still coming. He's going to get there. And the Phillies hold on and beat the Braves by a final score of 3-2. The Phillies' last 7 wins have been one-run affairs, their longest such string since 1942. And the Braves put up a fight in the 9th, but fall to 1-16 at home. 3-2 your final. Joe and I will recap it for you after a break.
Atlanta Braves baseball.